Okay, what's up guys? So today we are going to be running through an upgrade of this laptop. It's several years old. It's only got an Intel Pentium processor in, but it's going to run Windows 10 just fine. So at the moment it's running Windows 8.1. We've got a fresh install or an ISO image burnt onto a USB stick, and we're going to do a fresh install of Windows 10. We've already run through backing up all of the client data, so once we've installed Windows 10, then we can do a restore of that data. So the first thing we want to do is to boot from the USB stick. So what I've got here is a SanDisk Cruiser USB stick with Windows 10 ISO image on there. So we're going to get that into the laptop and then we're going to start it up. So on these Fujitsu laptops, F12 gives you the boot menu, and we're going to run down and say USB hard disk, which is the SanDisk Cruiser Edge stick. That will then go off and boot from the drive. Once it's booted up, it's just a matter of running through the installation options. Because this is a Windows 8 build, it will not automatically discover the version, the previous version of Windows, so it will prompt us for a activation key. We are going to say we don't have a key, and we'll worry about that afterwards. In some instances, it will then go off, determine the manufacturer of the laptop and automatically activate Windows 10 for you. But if it doesn't, well then we'll purchase a Windows 10 key and we'll install that for the client and charge them accordingly. So we're going to run through the process here. So first thing we want to do is accept all the defaults. We're in the United Kingdom and we want to install now. This will take a few minutes to start up, so while that's starting up I can let you know a little bit about the laptop. So it's roughly around about 7 years old. Normally we wouldn't worry about upgrading, but in this instance our client wants to carry on using the laptop, hasn't got the money to spend on a new device, so is quite happy to run with the performance that it'll be running at. And as I said earlier, we will add an SSD drive in the future if that is required. So here's the activation window. So we're going to go down and we're going to say I don't have a product key. And we want to install Windows 10 Home. There are the other options listed here, like Windows Education, Windows 10 Education and Windows 10 Pro, but in our instance we're going to go for the Home version because that was the previous version that was on here in Windows 8. It was the Home version. I don't, to be honest, I don't know if you get Pro versions of Windows 8. It was a pretty atrocious operating system, and anyone running Windows 10 always gets very frustrated with the ridiculous layout of the desktop. So we're going to accept the license terms and we're going to install Windows only. And what we're going to do here is we're never going to go back to it, so I'm going to go through and I'm going to delete all of the partitions. Once you do this, there's no going back, so just bear that in mind. You would need to use some bespoke software to undelete those partitions if you make a mistake, so just make sure that you've got everything backed up beforehand and you won't run into any problems. So the last one, and that gives us an install size of 700 gig. So we don't bother creating a new partition or formatting it. Windows will take care of that for us. You just click on next. That'll then copy all the files to the laptop and run the install. So while that's running, I will speed up the video, so I'll leave it. I'll leave it for now. I'll come back to it when that's completed. Okay, so that's the files installed. Then it installs the features, any updates that were included on the build USB stick. And there we go. So once that's installed, as part of the reboot process, I always take the USB stick out. So once that goes down to the power off mode, we can now remove that. That will then go away for safekeeping. And now we're booting from the hard disk. Okay, nearly done. So that took an awful long time getting things ready. So we're going to do a final reboot, and then we should go into the setup screens. Okay, finally we get into Cortana. So let's switch off the annoying voice. You do that by clicking the microphone on the left here, disable voice control. It's going to take a little while to set up because of the age and performance of the PC, of the laptop. So let's make a start. So we're in the United Kingdom. Yes, it's the right keyboard. No, I don't want to add another keyboard. So I'm going to say, no, I don't have internet at the moment. Okay, so this is the name of our client. And we're not going to bother with the password at the moment. We don't want to sync across devices. We don't want help from our digital assistant. And we don't use speech recognition, so we don't need to do that. Say yes to location services. Say no to find my device. Send basic stats to Microsoft. Say no to help improve the language. Say yes to offer you tailored experiences. Say yes to use the advertising ID, otherwise you get bombarded with crap. At least with it set to yes, you get bombarded with crap that's more appropriate to you. So I'll accept that. And then Windows will need to do its thing. This will be a little while as well. Once it's finished setting up and we've logged in, what we can do is to join the local network, set it as a public connection, and then run Windows Update just to make sure that we've got everything up to date. And then that's all there is to it. And there we go, we're all up to date. So you will notice the grey bar in the bottom, so that is non-aero mode. So what it will need to do is go off and download the display drivers, but as I mentioned, what we'll do is get connected to the network. Join this one. Say let's go to that. So because I've joined the network, it's now going to ask me to sign in. I don't want to use that account, so we'll ignore that. Where are we? Okay, so we're a public network, which is where we want to be. What we'll do now is we'll run Windows Update. Take a while to find it. There we go, check for updates. And then we'll let that run. So I'm not going to bore you with this, but basically that is it now. If you found the video useful, it'd be great if you could like and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.